What if staying silent when misunderstood isn't weakness but intelligence? Most people believe that smart individuals always defend their ideas, explain their actions, and correct others. But psychology tells a very different story. Some of the most intelligent minds do the opposite. They choose not to explain themselves, and the reason why is far more fascinating than it seems. Psychology and neuroscience reveal that this quiet behavior follows powerful mental patterns linked to intelligence and emotional maturity. In this video, you'll discover why highly intelligent people often stay silent and what that silence actually signals about their mind. Stay until the end, because the final insight reframes silence in a way that challenges almost everything usually associated with confidence. Highly intelligent people are acutely aware of cognitive energy. Every explanation requires focus, emotional regulation, and mental effort. Psychology shows that the brain has limited attentional resources, often referred to as cognitive bandwidth. When someone constantly explains themselves, they drain this bandwidth on external validation instead of internal clarity. If this behavior feels familiar, it actually shows strong self-regulation. Smart minds instinctively conserve mental energy for problems that matter. Explaining themselves to uninterested or biased listeners simply isn't worth the cost. Think of it like budgeting. Not every expense deserves investment. Psychology reveals a phenomenon called confirmation bias. People tend to interpret information in ways that reinforce what they already believe. Highly intelligent individuals recognize this pattern quickly. They sense when someone isn't listening to understand, but listening to respond. Explaining yourself to a closed mind rarely produces clarity. It produces friction. Research shows that attempting to correct someone's belief can actually strengthen their resistance. If you relate to this, it indicates strong social perception. The mind accurately reads when communication will be productive and when silence is the wiser option. Most people explain themselves to feel understood, but psychology suggests that intelligent individuals rely far less on external validation. Their self-concept is internally anchored, not dependent on approval. Neuroscience links this to a stable sense of identity regulated by the prefrontal cortex. When the brain feels secure in its values and decisions, it doesn't feel threatened by misunderstanding. If you don't feel the urge to explain every choice, it actually reflects emotional intelligence. Confidence isn't loud, it's quiet certainty. Behavioral psychology shows that silence often shifts power dynamics. When one person over-explains, they unconsciously place themselves in a defensive position. Silence, on the other hand, creates ambiguity, and the human brain is deeply uncomfortable with ambiguity. Studies indicate that people tend to project meaning onto silence. This often leads others to assume confidence, competence, or authority. If staying silent comes naturally, it signals an intuitive understanding of social dynamics. The absence of explanation forces others to reflect rather than react. Explaining yourself excessively is often an unconscious attempt to be liked or accepted. Intelligent individuals understand that respect and likability are not the same thing. Psychology suggests that self-respect forms the foundation of long-term confidence. By not explaining themselves, they set emotional boundaries. They communicate without words that their time, choices, and values are not up for negotiation. If this resonates, it reveals strong boundaries and self-worth. Approval becomes optional, not necessary. Explaining yourself often provides short-term relief. Silence offers long-term stability. Intelligent minds operate with delayed gratification, a trait strongly linked to higher cognitive control. Studies indicate that people with higher intelligence prioritize future outcomes over immediate emotional comfort. Staying silent avoids unnecessary conflict, misinterpretation, and emotional escalation. If this behavior feels familiar, it shows strategic thinking. The brain chooses peace over proving a point. Neuroscience reveals that intelligent individuals often process information internally before expressing it. Their thoughts are complex, layered, and nuanced, sometimes too complex for quick explanation. Verbalizing deep reasoning can feel reductive. Silence becomes a form of accuracy. Instead of oversimplifying, the mind chooses restraint. If you often feel that words don't fully capture your thinking, it reflects advanced cognitive processing. Not everything meaningful needs to be spoken. Most people fear misunderstanding because it threatens identity. Psychology shows that intelligent individuals tolerate ambiguity better than average. They don't need to control how others perceive them. This tolerance is linked to high emotional resilience. The mind remains stable even when external narratives are inaccurate. If being misunderstood doesn't disturb you deeply, it signals psychological independence. Identity comes from within, not from interpretation. Research shows that consistent behavior communicates far more than verbal justification. Intelligent individuals understand that patterns reveal truth over time. Explaining yourself once may change a moment. Living consistently changes perception permanently. Silence allows actions to speak, and the human brain is wired to detect patterns far more accurately than promises. If you prefer letting results speak, it reflects deep trust in cause and effect. Intelligence plays the long game. These behaviors aren't emotional distance or arrogance. Psychology reveals they are signs of intelligence, self-respect, and emotional maturity. Silence isn't absence, it's intention. It reflects a mind that understands energy, perception, and long-term impact. If these patterns feel familiar, they aren't flaws, they signal depth, clarity, and internal confidence. Understanding this changes how silence is interpreted, not as weakness but as wisdom. If this video resonated, subscribe for weekly psychology insights that help decode human behavior and inner intelligence. And stay tuned, because the next video explores why highly intelligent people often feel out of place in a noisy world.